This comeback should have been impossible. God bless. Hope you're having a good day. Jesus loves you. We got high roller.
Going down 3-1 in the
I done seen so many edits of Wembanyama coming back from a 3-1. They comparing it to the Cavs.
NBA Finals is virtually a death sentence. Throughout the 79 final series in NBA history, 38 of them reached the dreaded 3-1 deficit, and only one team has come back from it.
Don't care. Jordan never got to a Game 7 ever.
Cleveland is a city of champions once again.
Sorry, Jordan.
And
you
with
do
that
it
being the case, it was
7.
imperative that the San Antonio Spurs won Game 4 on Wednesday night in Madison Square Garden to prevent going down 3-1 in the series and give themselves a real chance to win an NBA title. And that's exactly what they were on track to doing. Through the first half of Game 4, Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs put together arguably their best half of the entire season. Record-breaking efficiency, stifling defense, and a first half of basketball so dominant that it earned them the third largest lead going into the half in the history of the finals. 76-49, a 27-point chasm separating them and the New York Knicks. An impossibly large deficit for the Knicks to overcome. In fact, the largest comeback ever achieved in the finals was 24 points. So, barring literally the worst half of basketball in the history of the finals, the Spurs were all but guaranteed to tie up the series going back into San Antonio with the wins at their back and all the momentum leading into Game 5. What transpired over the next 24 minutes of game time was literally the worst half of basketball in the history of the finals.
It's gone! It's gone! It's gone! With 1.2 remaining! Knicks take the lead!
I'm not even keeping up with this finals, but just the edits and everything is just so hilarious. It's just like I know what happened. I know what's going on.
Today's video is sold from ticket at 10%.
I wonder how he be doing these edits. Like how long do it take? Because didn't this game just happen? He must have went right into the editing software and went OC, no sleep.
What you are looking at is a graph of the live win probability from Game 4 of the NBA Finals according to Inpredictable.com. The San Antonio Spurs played so well in the first half that by the end of the first quarter, the Knicks' win probability was already just 17.6%. By halftime, the Knicks' win probability fell to just 1.5%. And with about 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, their probability of winning this game was just 1%. 1%. Unfortunately for the Spurs, basketball is more than just a game of probability.
Damn, why it go all the way down like that? Damn.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is a visual representation of the greatest comeback in the history of the finals, and quite possibly the history of the NBA.
Down by
because what the
30
Knicks
is
did
just
on
so
Wednesday
crazy.
night wasn't just improbable, it should have been impossible. How in the world did the Knicks pull this off? Well, you have to see it to believe it.
Earlier in the series.
Down by 30, man.
The first signs of a catastrophic meltdown by the Spurs all started right about here. With just under 9 minutes left in the third quarter, down 27, Josh Hart brings the ball down the court and feeds OG Anunoby for an easy dunk. The Knicks playing with a tangible sense of urgency considering their circumstance. The Spurs rebuttal.
Right now.
What the hell?
A little more fight.
A contested 25-footer 4 seconds into the shot clock. Tim Legler was on the call, and his commentary on this possession could not have been more spot on.
And right now, Mike Brown doesn't mind those quick threes by the Spurs. Even if they go in, you want to speed this game up to give your team more possessions.
Just moments later, Jalen Brunson hits a three, putting the Knicks on a 7-0 scoring run while Taylor Swift cosplays as an actual Knicks fan. Spurs call a timeout. Their game plan is still intact. For now. Just a couple possessions later, after a miss from Brunson, the Spurs come down and get into a two-man game with Wemby setting a screen for De'Aaron Fox. Wemby pops out, and Fox passes the ball to absolutely no one.
Yeah, I already know.
Knicks
De'Aaron
ball,
Fox,
we're going the other way. Fortunately for San Antonio, the Knicks do not convert on this possession, so the Spurs have a chance to come down and extend their lead back up to 25. With another deep, wildly contested three-pointer that, of course, doesn't fall. The Knicks, on the other hand, come down, move the ball around until they find OG in the corner for this open look. The lead now down to 19. Knicks on a 10-0 run. At this point, one can only assume the Spurs will probably stop shooting early shot clock threes and really get into their half-court offense, right?
Points, Brunson with 22. They've got 44 of the 62. Johnson wide open. Can't hit.
Right. Well, at least on the next possession, the Spurs do a better job at getting into something that resembles a coherent offensive set.
Why you stop talking?
Step back three.
It's another highly contested step back three and another miss.
Why are they taking
What's worse
it, though?
than another missed three?
Cornette checks in. Hart tries a three.
Giving up another three on the other end just 27 seconds later. The Knicks now on a 13-0 run. Eventually, the Spurs got back on track and maintained their lead over the next 6 minutes, slowly working down the clock and holding off the Knicks, which in and of itself was a miracle considering how poorly they were playing. Throughout the third quarter, the Spurs attempted 20 shots. They hit 4 of them. In fact, they had more turnovers than they did made shots in the quarter. At the start of the quarter, the Spurs had a 27-point lead. By the end of it, their lead was just 15. But that was some of the worst basketball the Spurs had played all season, especially considering the first half they just put up. It would take an unprecedented, horrific collapse to follow up that third quarter with an even worse fourth quarter.
Cornette checks in. Hart tries a three. Hart!
I'm surprised they didn't take Wemby out when they was up by 30 just because, like, you know how the NBA games is nowadays. You up by 30, all right, if it goes down by 20, then we'll put him back in, but you could just rest for the next game.
It's a three.
I'm surprised that
Suddenly
Wemby was
it's
still
up to
playing.
16.
Surprised.
That's 13 straight points. Alvarado tries a three. Rolls around and drops in. Beautiful pass inside. Bridges banks it home.
Like, even now, I'm surprised that Wemby playing.
Off the bounce, step back, puts up the three.
That's
good.
crazy.
Alvarado and Brunson.
You see,
Anunoby, three-pointers good. 6 3-pointers for Anunoby.
That's scary.
You ever watch a game and see some stuff that can only be attributed to what feels like fate? Despite the adjustments, despite the attention to
Or the
detail
magnet,
or the
rim.
effort, it just seems like there's an outcome that is destined to happen. This was one of those games. After having one of the greatest offensive halves in playoff history, regardless of the looks the Spurs got, they struggled to get them to fall. And regardless of the looks the Knicks got, they couldn't seem to miss. And after another run from the Knicks, the Spurs lead is now cut to just 11 points. Now, some of this can be attributed to experience. Some of it can be attributed to focus and sticking to a game plan.
Yeah, everybody
and
on the
some of
Spurs
it
is young.
Sheer luck.
They're younger
but when
than
you're
everybody on
witnessing
the
a
Knicks.
professional basketball player doing a balancing act, tiptoeing the backcourt in the midst of a historic comeback before heaving the ball to the opposing team, one may begin to believe there's a greater force at work here. I am sitting at home on the other side of the country, and I can physically feel the Knicks' momentum from my couch. Coming back down the court, the Knicks got the ball to Cat in the corner, but he's got Wemby on him, the defensive player of the year, one of the best defenders of all time.
Pump
Surely
fake.
he doesn't just go right at him and get another bucket here.
Pump fake?
Towns fakes, drives on Wemby, goes inside, stops, flips it up, shot is
How the
good.
hell he make that?
Of course he does. The lead, now just 9 points.
That's
Madison
crazy.
Square Garden
That
is in
is
mass
actually
hysteria.
insane.
With a chance to swing the game back in their favor, the Spurs come back down the court. And considering their circumstance and what has occurred over the last 18 minutes, do you
Wemby
think
open.
they, A, work the ball around until they get a good look,
B, pass
feed
to
the ball
Wemby.
to their 7'5"
Wemby.
alien
I'm
superstar
passing
rolling to the
Wemby.
basket, or C, do the exact same thing that got him into this mess and take another early three-pointer?
I'm gonna go with B.
Chipping away. Fox picks up his
No,
dribble.
no.
Champagny can't get it.
If you said option C, you are correct.
No, it's
But
not.
look, the Spurs forced a turnover on the other end. They've got another chance to build this lead back up on the fast break. Any guesses as to what they will do on this crucial, potentially momentum-swinging possession?
Castle may have gotten a piece of it. Fox kicks it out. Vassell, right side, three-pointer, can't
I
get
ain't gonna lie, that rim is broken. That's a double rim. They done hit us with the
You can't
double
make
rim.
it up. Down on the other end, Jalen Brunson works his magic and makes a tough layup off the glass to shrink the lead to just 7. The Knicks are now on a 17-4 run against the youngest, most inexperienced finals team in league history. Now would probably be a good time to call a timeout.
Fox searching. Anunoby on him. Fox steps back, jump shot, puts it up.
Fox,
Can't get it.
you just not built for that
Wemby tips it
moment.
out of bounds. Nick Ball.
Or not. The Knicks come back down the other way and immediately set a screen for Brunson. Why is Wemby guarding a 6'0" Jose Alvarado 20 feet away from the basket? I don't know, but after the switch, he's now on Brunson. But now he's dropping back to play strong side help with Champagnie in the corner. The Knicks swing the ball to the other wing, and there's Wemby right on time to help. And guarding this corner man is Champagnie. But wait a minute. He was supposed to be in the opposite corner, which means someone's open.
Wemby. Wait, no, this is a zone defense. What is this?
Bounce.
What's a 3? No, it's a 2. It's a 2-3. That's a 2-3. That's bad. That never works out in 2K.
One possession
bad
game.
Defense.
Mitch Johnson realizes he has the autonomy to call a timeout. Larry David is losing his mind, and the world is ending. Or at least it feels like it is, if you're a Spurs fan. But there's still hope. After trading a few buckets, the Spurs maintain their 4-point lead until there's about 2:20 left on the clock, and Jalen Brunson hit this 3 over Wemby.
Shot clock at 5. Brunson fires up a 3. Puts it in! 1-point game!
Damn, bro.
This building is shaking right now!
Bruns, was he always that nice?
That wasn't a game winner or a go-ahead bucket? Well, you just did. Because it is now just a 1-point game, and the Spurs are in a state of shock. How do I know this? Because on the very next possession, De'Aaron Fox, the team veteran, a starting point guard in the NBA Finals, did this.
He wasn't ready for that pressure.
Fox throws it away!
After 2 quarters of some of the most appalling basketball you've ever seen, this should have been the nail in the coffin for the Spurs and their hopes of winning this game.
Josh Hart ahead of the pack, lays it up. Lost. Oh, he missed the layup.
But it wasn't. Miraculously, Josh Hart missed this wide open layup that would have put the Knicks up by 1. And despite their best efforts to lose it, the Spurs still have the lead. And on the very next possession, Wemby gets fouled and sent to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
You missed that?
Now, Wemby is an excellent free throw shooter with a career playoff free throw percentage of 85%. He's also the future face of the NBA in a potential legacy-defining moment of his career. Under most circumstances, this trip to the line would put the Spurs up by 3 points.
We're good.
But this is far from most circumstances.
That's money. Nobody worried about that.
Credit Castle for creating those footsteps behind him. Wembanyama misses a free throw. The greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. Missed them both.
0 for 2. The lead still just 1 point.
I'm telling y'all, bro, it's the pressure.
At least it was.
Finals pressure. That's heavy. That's heavy work.
Brunson, stutter dribble, drives inside, goes up, floaters up.
This nigga.
It's good. The Knicks take the lead with 1:22 remaining.
For the first time throughout this entire game, the Knicks take the lead with just over a minute left on the clock. If this game ended right here, what you just witnessed is already the most improbable, most unbelievable sequence of events in the history of the finals. But somehow, despite there being just a minute 22 left on the clock, this game is far from over. Thanks to a pair of free throws from Stephon Castle, the Spurs regain a 1-point lead with just 30 seconds left on the clock. And on the very next possession, this happens.
Kicks it out in the corner. Brunson gets it back. Brunson on the drive. The floater's up. Shot won't go. Rebound deflected. In the backcourt. Fox has a chance to get it.
NBA players are the best basketball players on the planet. In spite of this, they still often make mistakes.
I'm looking like I don't know what happened.
And in the finals, these mistakes tend to live on in infamy. For every great, career-defining playoff moment, there are equally as many infamous blunders that stick with a player long after they retire. What you're about to witness is one of those mistakes.
Fox has it inside, blocked by Anunoby. 9 seconds remaining. 6 seconds remaining.
That's a backcourt?
9 seconds remaining.
Wait. Damn, he did foul him before his leg. That would have been a backcourt.
Seconds remaining.
That would have been a backcourt.
With less than 14 seconds on the clock, the Spurs were up by 1 with possession of the ball. De'Aaron Fox could have wasted time off the clock and forced the Knicks to foul. He could have called a timeout. He could have cleared it out and passed it to a teammate. Instead, he went up for a layup and got blocked, giving the Knicks one more chance to win this game. But of all the unlikely things to occur in this game to bring us to this point, converting on a bucket with less than 6 seconds on the clock, down 1, in the finals is about as unlikely as any. Dating back to 1997, the beginning of the play-by-play era, there have only been 6 go-ahead baskets in the finals with less than 6 seconds left in the game. All 6 of these buckets cemented as some of the most clutch, legacy-defining moments in modern NBA history. Even after their historic, unprecedented comeback, the Knicks still had to pull off what has only happened 6 times in the last 30 years. What are the odds that they can pull it off? About as unlikely as everything that led them to this point.
It might just go flat for Jalen Brunson, allow him to operate at the top, 1-on-1. Brunson gets it, fires up a 3. Shot no good, the tip, it's gone! It's gone! It's gone!
My timer went off the moment he hit that. That's so crazy. You can't even make that up, bro. My phone timer went off the moment.
I can't believe it! The greatest comeback in NBA playoff history. The Knicks pull off a miracle comeback.
Okay. Nah, listen, I already know.
Now 1 win away from a title.
Damn, who that?
And that, my friends, is the greatest comeback in NBA history.
Damn, you just end the video like that? Nah, that was, man, the memes, boy. De'Aaron Fox. Listen, man, I am actually really excited. Like, I'm really curious, like, how game 5 gonna be, man. When is game 5? Let me do a little Google search. All I gotta do is type in game 5. Tip-off time. What? June 13th? That's the day. I ain't gonna lie, they making me want to watch the game. I ain't gonna lie, it's a waste of time. There's no point in me watching the game, bro. I'm not invested. Y'all let me know what y'all think of this video, man. That was a good video. Man, they killing De'Aaron Fox. Hopefully he ain't depressed, man. Lock in. Listen, this is what all the GOATs go through. This is what all the GOATs go through. They make a mistake, they getting all the heat. If they lose because of their team, they still getting the heat. Get ready for that moment. This is what you wanted. Like, comment, subscribe. I have a gaming channel. It's where I play video games. Link in the description. Game 5.
You actually finished my video. I don't know if you watched a lot or a little, but I appreciate you. I'm gonna see you on the next video. I'm out!